Hello again, Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, and this time, going into Monsterpocalypse, painting Defender X. Starting Tarnished Steel 09206. So, current Monsterpocalypse is actually the second edition of a game that came out in 2008. In its first incarnation, it was a blind purchase collectible miniatures game, and now it is a non-collectible, non-blind purchase miniatures game. Which, aside from meaning I can paint these guys any way I want, means, good grief, my camera is trying to run away from me. Means that no buying endless amounts of boosters to get what you want. So, Defender X belongs to G.U.A.R.D, Globally United Advanced Research and Defense, and which is basically the military, and is one of their monsters, a super mech, second generation, built to fight the planet eaters and other monsters that started popping out of the woodwork. And this is not the official color scheme, the canon. This is my own. There was a certain temptation to do the original, or official, but I decided with everything I'm going to do something a little more me. I loved the first edition of this game. I'm very excited about the second. So far, the changes I feel are great. Even the loss of a certain power attack, which could be considered too powerful for the current edition. But that's we'll see. Things have definitely been simplified. In the first version of the game, monsters actually had multiple hyper forms to pick from. Now they just have one. And instead of up to 6 special abilities per form, they've simplified that to just a couple that really give each model and monster its own flavor. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Let's try seeing if I can do this with the light off, see if that helps any. It might. Can't do this very well with black primed minis, but I'll give this a shot here. Uh-oh. Now. Been some changes to the fiction between first and second editions, but first edition was put on hiatus so long ago that it doesn't really matter anyway. Unlike most games, this is not a continuation of what was, but a complete reboot, which in this case I think actually works. I may not leave that faceplate silver. I might change it. But for now, there's a little articulation in this kit letting you play around with the arms, waist, and head a little bit. Not a lot, just a bit, but it's alright. Some of the other kits don't have any articulation, so but Defender X's fists are detachable and rocket powered, letting him throw a punch from far away as he wants to, more or less, though his ranged attack is 3 squares. Monsterpocalypse does use a set of predetermined maps, and it looks like the first edition maps are not compatible with the current, and that's fine. I just hope Privateer doesn't keep us in the dark too long on how to get more maps, because I know they've previewed some at some point. Just can't quite find the link, but I also feel confident if this game does okay that they'll continue on and re-release everything that was. They've already mentioned quite a few things, and on the Destroyer's agenda box even teased 2 factions from the second block, the Tritons and Ubercorp International. But Monsterpocalypse was pretty big in its first edition. There was a movie in the works that was going to be done by DreamWorks and directed by Tim Burton, is what the announcement said, but that never went through. It never came to be. And when Pacific Rim came out, I thought that actually was finally going to be, or rather when I first saw the trailers, I thought that was finally going to be the Monsterpocalypse movie, but obviously wasn't, though both are very similar. Main difference is Monsterpocalypse has more than 2 groups of monsters pounding on each other, but there are quite a few similarities between the super mechs of G.U.A.R.D and Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim, particularly the glowing chest armature, which in the case of Defender X is supposed to be a fusion cannon according to the card. The attacks are abstracted into just 3, brawl being any kind of physical from a punch, a bite, or some guy in a tank flooring the gas and running something over, while a blast is anything from a missile, laser, radioactive halitosis. And power attacks allow you to move enemy figures, which can make them collide with the buildings for more damage. This is a game that doesn't have randomized damage. Every attack that hits deals 1 point. But when the max health of a monster is 11, every box counts. Now this area up here, the tips of these thrusters were particularly hard to clean. I was not certain where I was supposed to stop. I think I may have wound up stopping my cleaning process prematurely. These are resin, and it's overall nice, but it can be hard to clean and not sand, but file for painting. Okay. So far, so good. I'm going to need to stop here and let that dry before moving on. But so far, so good. Alright, next up, where is it? 09062 Leather White. Okay, now I really do need the light on. White on white is, it's subtle. That's the best way of putting it. There's a reason for this, and you'll see in the finished product here. This is also kind of an off-white, but you'll notice I don't have him glued onto his base yet. And the reason for that is the bases are clear plastic. I don't want that disrupted. The reason for that is, rather for the bases being clear, is there are spaces called objectives that have special properties when your units, in other words the minions of the monsters, claim them. That makes it easy to see what any given model or unit is standing on. In fact, what will make this stand out from my other videos is that there is no basing. It's just gluing it to a clear piece of plastic. And some of this I'm going to paint over again. Whoa! And that happened in other colors. Yeah, that's one thing right now is I can't get the best grip on this model because of no base 2 grip. Which is also going to make it kind of funny when I get to the legs. And I'll worry about that when I actually hit that step. getting there. This is just taking time. Like I said, there is a difference between the two whites, the primer and this paint, but it's pretty subtle. It'll stand out more when I'm finished at the end of this. I'm deliberately not painting the bottoms of the feet because that's where the glue is going to be to attach to the base, and it'll work better if I don't have paint to go through. I'm not worried about the knee here. That's going to be done with a lighting effect later, so that can stay kind of blank for now. Even in cleaning and filing down the knees, I had some trouble with here and there. Again, just an artifice of the how the model was cast. The resin looks nice though. And getting away from metals to plastics and resins is just an industry shift anyway, so nothing too much to say there. Okay, that's got the white. Move on in a minute once that's dried. Okay. Next up, where is it? 09017 True Blue. Bit too much paint there. I did do some touch-up work on the silver after that last take. And I am deliberately avoiding the laser cannons on the side of the head, as those will be done in a different color. And yep, it says on the card that these are laser cannons on the side of the head. The weaponry on Defender X here is the Fizzed Rockets, a fusion cannon, and laser cannons. And let's see, what other details do I want? Oh, great, I nicked the engines. Well, that's alright, I'll get it squared away. So how about... no right or wrong way to paint this. Now, part of the reason I wanted to go with a predominantly white color scheme is I see G.U.A.R.D as the white knights coming to defend humanity from the ravages of the monsters during the Monsterpocalypse. And then, how about... For the sake of doing something on the back, I'll go ahead and do this panel here, which may be an air brake. I'll have to touch up the white since I nicked it over here when I was doing the shoulders, but that's okay. And I think a little more on the leg here, maybe. This panel right here, I think. Okay, it's pretty good. Just a little bit on the shoulder there. Go ahead and finish my base coats before I start any touch-ups. So 09050 Antique Gold. This is just going one place. and that's the G.U.A.R.D insignia on its crotch here. That might be a weird place to put it, but when you think about it, it's really the only place to put it, as the chest, which would be more obvious, happens to house a really big cannon. And then, no, not that one, this one. Phoenix Red 09005. Just getting this mixed up thoroughly. Let's see what part I'll do. Just kind of muttering to myself. Okay, so cannons. Or rather, the laser cannons, anyway. And with that, let's see here. Going around the barrel of the fusion cannon and the chest. Not doing the inside, that's deliberate. That's going to be taken care of with a lighting effect. Then these panels here. And I think go ahead and get the ring around the underarm here. Opposite side. Getting spikes. Or they might be sensors. I don't know if these are supposed to be spikes or not, but... And the card says these knees here are supposed to be some kind of electromagnetic countermeasure system. The cards just have kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Text specs, for lack of a better word, on some of the features of these characters. That's where the laser cannon, fusion cannon description comes from. Okay, getting there. Now for the biggest part of this color, the coverings of the thrusters here. I need a little more paint. Okay. Just need to do some touch-ups on the white and then start shading. Huh. The joys of technical difficulties. I'll get better once I get a better camera. So, Ancient Bronze 09049. And I will be getting a better camera before long here, another month or so. About another month, and I'll finally have this upgraded from what I'm using to something a little better. Okay, so again with shading you want to go from the highest area to the lowest. I won't be able to do everything at one time, but Fire Red 09004 is next. About half paint, half water, give or take. Okay, where to start? Okay, so this should work beautifully for what I'm going for. I'm trying to make sure this goes into every little divot here. Looks like I nicked the white again. I'll have to touch that up before I shade it, but that can wait till after I get the rest shaded. Oh, dropped him. Alright, so in terms of operation of Defender X, it's been kind of retconned, but then again it was only really talked about in a 3-issue comic series that was run in conjunction with the original game, but these G.U.A.R.D super mechs are operated by a single pilot, assisted by an AI. Other mechs mentioned are Sky Sentinel and Laser Knight. In the original game, Laser Knight was part of the second series, but in this new continuity, well, to be fair, in the Laser Knight did share parts with Sky Sentinel, but in this continuity, Laser Knight and Sky Sentinel were made first. Laser Knight, though, after the pair of them dealt a heavy injury to the planet G.U.A.R.D, decided to pursue it and was ambushed. The pilot KIA, but the AI recovered intact. So I can probably come back, and with what G.U.A.R.D learned from that fight, they upgraded Sky Sentinel and built Defender X based on those upgrades. So I am certain that all these Series 2, 3, and beyond monsters and units, etc. will be in the game eventually. Though with G.U.A.R.D there's a Series 1 unit, the Mobile Ops Center, that hasn't been included yet. But we did get the Strike Fighter early, which was in the original game a Series 2 unit. So they've already kind of mixed up the order of release between the original series and the current incarnation. I am dripping paint all over the place here. I have few choices in general, good, bad, or otherwise, and where to grip it right this minute. A base would help, but again, I need to keep that off for now. It is just dripping off of these thrusters here. Put a little dab right there. And that's what I can do for the time being. So once that's dry, I can get the blue, then the white, and then the steel, and then start the lighting effects. Okay. 09016 Sapphire Blue. Clogged nozzle, easy to fix. Then after this one dries, I just need to touch up the white one more time before shading that and the steel. And I can start the lighting effects, the highlights, and the details. That's not quite thin enough, it's a little chunky. Okay, let's try that again. Uh-oh, bad grip there. Being careful right in here because I don't want to end up nicking the knee I just did. Gotta be careful I'm not hitting the air brake on the back of the engine here. Okay. Once that's dry, I'll actually, once that's dry, I touch up the white, then shade that, and I just realized I nicked the laser here. Let's just blot that out real quick. Just got it. Okay. Uh-oh. Flying brush. Come back in a minute. Okay, last of the shading. Linen white 09061. Let's see here. This is going to get a little tricky no matter how I do it, so... That's why I keep the paper towel on hand. Might end up having to touch up some of the other shading. If I do, I'll do that off camera. Getting there. I'm probably just going to have to touch up that red under the undercarriage there, and that's okay. I'll be fine. Looks like I got exactly enough paint to get the job done. Okay, a few touch-ups on that band of red, and then I can do the lighting effects and then highlight and finish up. Okay, almost forgot one layer of shading. Blackened steel 09205. Not too terribly much of this, though. And, yeah. Just let myself get a little rattled there. I'll be okay. Getting a little more paint, it seems. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Getting there. Getting there. Keep. Trying to blot the steel out of there. It'll be all right. Okay, once that's dry, I can now, once it's dry, I can do the lighting effects. Okay, prepping the lighting effects now, 09039 pure white. Need a little more than that. Okay, very carefully getting the visor here. Just try to move that a bit so I'm in camera. Okay, now I can loosen up with the rest of it. So get the inside here of the fusion cannon. And then backs of these thrusters for his rocket fists. And then the knees for his ECM arrays. Let's see, and that leaves. Let's see here. Thrusters in the back of the ankles. That beeping's nothing to be concerned about. This thruster here. Along in there. Along here. Covers the insides. Right there. Using a circular motion to fill that in. Okay, is that it? No, not quite. There's one little nozzle here. And on the opposite side. Okay, now I just need to let... Oh, wait. One more thing. The laser batteries. Let that dry for a minute and then light it up. Alright, where is it? Fire Orange 09006. That tiny little speck will be plenty because this is just going in the eye, rather visor. There we go. Blot that out just a little in the corner there. And Sky Blue 09018. This one's about cash, but I do have a spare on hand if I need it, which I don't think I will because a little bit of this is going to go a long way here. Get that thinned out proper, and just to get myself in camera first. tabbed on the relevant areas. That might not be quite right here. The brush to soak up some of the excess. That's a better glowing effect right there. Then it's just going to leave the inside of the main thrusters here. And there. Back there. Okay. Now once that's completely dry, I can highlight, detail, and get this finished. Alright, time to finish up. 09207 True Silver. So the right brush for the job. So brushing it on a paper towel till most of the paint looks like it's gone. And then lightly dusting the areas affected. Normally wouldn't bother doing something underneath like this, but this guy Sentinel's a giant robot. There's going to be plenty of people looking up his armor skirts. Okay, that gets the silver. Don't know if this brush is going to work out for the rest of it, though. That was a little more time-consuming than I thought. But now's where it gets really interesting. Instead of the usual highlights, colored metallics. 09100 Pearl White. Clogged nozzle, but easy to fix with a paper clip. We'll need quite a bit to get this done properly. Swap out my brush here. See if another one works a little better. These metallics, they don't go down for a wash very well, but highlighting is another story. I might want to switch to a bigger one in a minute here. Trying to focus on one light at a time. Shading here is kind of subtle. Probably won't be picking up on this camera of mine very well, which I'm hoping to upgrade next month. So by the time I get some more stuff for this game, by the time more G.U.A.R.D monsters and units come out, I should be in much better shape, do a much more impressive video. This is going to take a while because of all the surface area, but this is exactly what I was hoping to get done. Alright, that turned about like I was hoping for on the white. Now, clean out my brush. For the blue, sparkling blue, 09104. I get a bad habit of holding my breath sometimes when I'm hyper focused. It's not good for me. I gotta watch that. Let's clean my brush out thoroughly, and I'll go ahead and probably switch brushes for the next one. So, new gold, 09051. And it just goes on the insignia on the waist. And finishing up with Ruby Red 09101. I'm just gonna see, get a clean or fairly dry surface of towel to work with here. Whoa! Well, I lucked out and didn't hit anything, but yeah, there's no good place to grab a model like this. Not until the base is on anyway, but can't do a lot about that right this second, not the way I have to paint. I got the bulk of it. Not going to worry about the underside on the thrusters. That's... oh, shoot. Getting a little overexcited, I guess. Just need to take the white and touch up that bit on the engine here where I had the misfire. Okay, now all I have to do is glue him to the base. Good grief. I've got a barely acrobatic camera. Alright. So, these bases are packed in a little sandwich of plastic here. I kept it on until the last minute. Nice and clear. And taking a cyanoacrylate glue, just need to carefully position him where I want, base like that, and hold. This is going to take a few minutes to set, but that is Defender X in all his glory. Until next time, I am Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.